All right, everyone, we are apparently trying something new. I don't know why I don't have any video yet. Okay, here it goes. It popped up. So we're doing a little bit of a live here for you guys on the channel. This is brought to you by the members here on the channel. So thank you guys for everything and for suggesting these lives and wanting to see them. There's Davos today. Blew my mind. It looks like there's kind of an about shift taking place in the entire world, the established world. There's an about shift because all of these companies, all of these countries, everything suddenly decided that they were going to change their tune. Back in the day, they were playing a whole different tune under the Biden administration, and now we're starting to see something different. So let's let everybody get kind of rolling in here. Hey, Cody, Juicy Preps, Landfill, GMC, Gibson, Bare Necessities. Hey, from Northwest Georgia. I guess you're feeling the cold too. Chattanooga, Don Lindley. So welcome everybody for coming in. Make sure that you throw your general regional location down there just to give everyone an idea that we are U.S. based for the most part. I know we have a lot of viewers from other countries as well. Indiana, Texas, Michigan, we're just rolling in all over the place here. So Davos today really blew my mind. Let's go ahead and catch some of what was being said, and then I kind of want to discuss some of it in a little bit of a taking back of what's going on there. So let's see what Trump's got to say here.
United States. 3 days ago, I took the oath of office, and we began the golden age of America. The recent presidential election was won by millions of votes.
Now I'm going to skip around here because
every one
this
of
is
them,
quite a long
all
piece. I
seven
think
swing
it's 45
states.
minutes.
It was a massive mandate from the to fix the.
Now look at this.
Of the United States.
This is the same dude right here telling you you'll own nothing and be happy. Let's see again what he's got to say.
Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States.
The President.
Donald
the guy
J.
sounds like. You remember the Mel Gibson movie? What was it? Lethal Weapon. And the guy who had diplomatic immunity. Just piece that in
Ladies
here.
and gentlemen, the President of the United States.
Diplomatic immunity.
Donald J.
So he's welcoming in Donald Trump. Trump's in there, and he's just kind of like giving it to him.
The result is the worst inflation crisis in modern history and sky-high interest rates for our citizens. And
now I've got some other clips here that I want to get to that kind of, if we have time, they're telling us, and JP Morgan in particular, let's see if I can, find our boy JP. Let's see what he's got to say. I don't know if I'll have it come up. JP Morgan's out here saying that, hey, we are going to see worse than ever inflation. And that's really scary to me to think. Okay, here we go. All right, let's see what this has to say.
Your colleague was on stage talking about how your firm has created a quote-unquote war room that's looking at each of these executive orders as they come in, trying to assess what they mean for the bank and I imagine for your clients.
Yeah. So we always, war room may be a bad word, but this is a real-time, full thing, analyzing for clients, for communities, for a bank. We get a million questions, stuff like that. Look, I look at tariffs, they are an economic tool. That's it. They're an economic weapon, depending how you use it and why you use it and stuff like that. And, people argue, is it inflationary and non-inflationary? I would put in perspective, if it's a little inflationary, but it's good for national security, so be it.
There you have it. That's exactly why your inflation, your cost of living is going to go up again. Let's listen to that part again.
If it's a little inflationary, but it's good for national security, so be it.
If it's a little inflationary, and this is a guy who probably doesn't need to check his bank account to buy a new car. He just rolls in and he just throws the cash at him. Doesn't need to check his bank account to get a sixth house. Just rolls in and buys whatever he wants. So for him to say a little inflationary is crazy. So he says if it's a little inflationary but good for national security, then so be it. Which I find really interesting because I think that what we're about to see is not a little bit inflationary. We're about to see some really crazy things happen here. Let's get back to what was going on at Davos. A lot of ICE things going on. I don't know if you've watched ICE go in there, and they're going into people's businesses. They're going into the lawyers' offices. They're going into everywhere. And what are they doing there? They are pulling the files on everybody who shouldn't be in this country. Well, let's see what Trump continues to say.
Even throughout the world, food prices and the price of almost every other thing known to mankind went through the roof. President Biden totally lost control of what was going on in our country, but in particular with our high inflation economy and at our border. Because of these ruinous policies, total government spending this year is $1.5 trillion higher than was projected to occur when I left office just 4 years ago. Likewise, the cost of servicing the debt is more than 230% higher than was projected in 2020. The inflation rate we are inheriting.
All right, let's skip around a little bit.
I'll be asking the Crown Prince, who's a fantastic guy, to round it out to around $1 trillion. I think they'll do that because we've been
round it out to around $1 trillion investment into the Americans.
But I do appreciate. I heard the audience is fantastic, and many of my friends are in the audience, and I will be taking questions now from some very distinguished people. Thank you all very much.
Gave this speech today.
Now, some of the things they're saying about Trump, let's get to some other. This is an oil explosion at a refinery in Russia. This is sabotage. So we have similar sabotage events taking place inside of our country right now. You think the wildfires in California aren't in some ways sabotage? Do you think that what's happening at the warehouses isn't a form of sabotage? You got to think again. We have some really weird things going on here. So oil refinery, Russia, the Americans, the NATOs, the Ukrainians, they all said they were going to do it, and here you have it. Moving forward, here's Trump again talking about the globalists.
And I created the new Department of Government Efficiency. I terminated the ridiculous and incredibly wasteful
Thanks so much, John Boy.
New Deal. I call it the Green New Scam. Withdrew from the one-sided Paris Climate Accord and ended the insane and costly electric vehicle mandate. We're going to let people buy the car they want to buy.
Now, one of the things that really gets me, and that's smart, because we've got all of these problems across the country, from the wildfires over in California with the lithium plant going up in flames. So think about that sabotage again. We just watched some sabotage take out the Russian oil refineries. Why are our lithium plants here in America being attacked and being lit on fire? Now, think about what else is happening all across the country, from the storms down in Louisiana, the snow down in Florida, the recent hurricanes in Florida and North Carolina. What did the government ship to these people? Electric chainsaws to clear the trees for them to be able to get outside of their locked-in properties. Electric. There's no electricity. They're not allowed to have generators anymore. The mandates didn't want them to have anything that was carbon-based. Let's see. Trump signed an executive order declassifying today the JFK, RFK, and MLK files. Let's see about that.
Lastly, sir, we have an executive order ordering the declassification of files relating to the assassinations of President John F. Kennedy, Senator Robert F. Kennedy, and Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
That's a big one, huh? A lot of people are waiting for this for years, for decades. And everything will be revealed.
Okay, so them saying, hey, thanks so much, Ziggy, Mr. HVAC, thanks for your diligence. I appreciate you guys, so thank you so much. So Ziggy out here, Ziggy, our boy Trump, saying that everything's going to be revealed. The JFK files, the RFK files. Now, are they going to be heavily redacted and pulled back? Probably. I have to think that there's a good chance, a good possibility that that's what we're going to see. But does that mean that we're still not going to try to kind of get ahead at what has been tried to keep under the wraps for the last, 10, 20, 30, 40 years? Yeah, absolutely. So we had some Davos updates. Those are a little bit older now. Trump on tariffs. Let's just hit some of the highlights. Emergency economies will see a sudden stop of capital flows. European stocks rising after the Trump speech. Oil prices falling. See, all he had to say, and I don't really understand what's going on behind the scenes here, but all Trump had to say was, bring your oil price down. And we saw oil just absolutely shoot down today. So definitely, worth watching what this dude says, because he's got some weight behind everything that is being said. Let's see. Next, we've got private jets, flight soaring, because the haves, the people who do have, are able to kind of just go wherever they want to. So no carbon emissions there. American hiker shot twice by the cartels near the San Diego border. Let's see this. not really too much to be said about that, just them loading him up. Let's see, this is...
Say they know, say it's a spying app for the Communist Chinese.
But,
talking about
but
TikTok.
you can say that about everything made in China. Look, we have our telephones made in China for the most part. We have so many things made in China. So why don't they mention that? You know,
Let me get to
the
some
interesting
issues.
thing with TikTok
And just kind of
is
like
you're
pushing
dealing with
back
a lot of
because
young
there,
people.
you know, there's going to be a little bit of heat there about pulling back TikTok. Putin demanding that we extradite, we send over FAUCI. I know you guys know who that is, for crimes against humanity as part of a Ukrainian peace deal. He's reportedly, and this is just a report, pushing for the extradition of this doctor, this guy who ran a lot of interesting technology that would engineer biologics, including flus and viruses and things that are, you know, hurting the world. He says that the specifics of the charges will remain unclear, but Russian officials are said to be compiling evidence to support the claims against this dude. I guess that's after Biden issued a pretty blanketed, pardon here in America because they don't want anything bad to happen to the guys that hurt everybody else. So that's definitely something we need to keep an eye on. Trump is, listen to this. I want you to really hear this.
Trump has done something no person in the world has ever done before. A dead man, a dead politician, has risen. Somebody who, if we were 4 years ago at Davos, he's buried, dead politically, known to me. He's now returned. This is the greatest comeback in political history of a politician. And then, therefore, he thinks he can do anything.
We need to also
listen to how mad they are. Annual meeting, Davos 2025, World Economic Forum. Now, he had multiple assassination attempts against him. And listen to how they talk about him.
Trump has done something no person in the world has ever done before. A dead man, a dead politician,
Thank you so much, Jackie.
has risen.
A dead politician has risen. Now, I don't know about you, but whenever I've seen the verbiage used by people who will contract the taking out, the smoking of other people, they say things like, that guy's dead. He's a walking dead man. So to hear that kind of thing kind of...
A dead man, a dead politician.
Perks my ear. Doesn't it perk your ear?
Before. A dead man, a dead politician.
Now, maybe they were just talking about how his political career, you know, his ability to influence politics was deceased, but
a dead man, a dead politician
definitely has. It's not lost on my ears. So this is ICE raiding the law offices of Joseph Flynn, Rhode Island, top immigration lawyer. So you can see that they're not pulling any punches here, guys. They're going straight into the immigration law offices. They're going into stadiums. They're going into churches. They're going everywhere. And let me tell you something. Here's my opinion, okay? Now, one, nobody else is picking strawberries. Nobody else is picking oranges. Nobody else is picking these things because they abuse the fact that people are here illegally. Corporate-wise, we abuse it, okay? We have to acknowledge that. Two, a criminal is a criminal. And so if we are going to have any faith in the justice system, which, do you have any faith left in it? I don't know anyone that I can say, hey, what kind of faith do you have left in the justice system? And they're like, oh yeah, boy, oh boy, great to be an American. This system is foolproof. You know, no one's ever done anything wrong here. So I know that we have to kind of acknowledge that these things are not getting better anytime soon. Let's go ahead. So following a speech on Sunday by U.S. President Donald Trump, threatening to cut all financial aid to Afghanistan if the Taliban does not return $7 billion in American aircraft, air-to-surface missiles, vehicles, and other equipment. Guys, I'm old enough to remember. Who isn't? Who watching this is not old enough to remember what a bad word the Taliban was just a couple of short years ago? And then we have this acknowledgement through government that we have given them $7 billion with a B dollars. We just let it go to them. Surface-to-air missiles. Now, how can you take a bad word back then and say, yes, we gave them surface-to-air missiles and billions of dollars worth of equipment? I don't know if you saw the actual footage of the Taliban walking through. It was Christmas time. It was literally Christmas time for them as they walked through to get their goodies that we had left for them. Yeah, hey, Don, I appreciate that. Taking note, famine, biblical. I do have a warning here that says the bit rate of this is lower than the recommended bit rate. You guys let me know. Are you having any feed problems, or is it, pretty much okay out there? People saying in the back, the verbiage was suspect from the WEF. It's definitely something that we need to watch for. I'm going to give it just a second here and see what you guys are saying about the feed. Make sure that it's doing what it should be doing. We're running on Starlink here, so, who knows? 5x5, okay, all clear, all good. Okay, I'm just going to keep going then without considering it. But, we're running on Starlink here, and Starlink is better than any rural internet that I've ever had, but you're still going to have your issues, so I've got to pay attention. All 5x5, okay, good. So giving all of this money, giving all these weapons to the guys who used to be the bad guys, it just doesn't make any sense. Now listen to this. Trump calling out the Bank of America CEO, right? Directly to him, calling him out about how, and this is going to play through to YouTube, it's going to play through to Twitch, it's going to go all the way through, because the banks are the ones who start initiating the control and the censorship, because money, right? Money runs everything. So if you say we're not going to give money anymore to any of these outlets that are viewed as speaking against the direction or agenda that we want them to, that's the bank talking, then what happens? All of these apps and all of these outlets, they start putting that hammer down, and they're like, no, you can't say that word. Let's listen to what Trump says.
But I hope you start opening. And by the way, speaking of you, and you've done a fantastic job, but I hope you start opening your bank to conservatives, because many conservatives complain that the banks are not allowing them to do business within the bank, and that included a place called Bank of America. They don't take conservative business. And I don't know if the regulators mandated that because of Biden or what, but you and Jamie and everybody, I hope you're going to open your banks to conservatives, because what you're doing is wrong.
Open your banks up to the conservatives. Definitely a change there. So you got to pay attention. Maybe we're going to start seeing a little bit of a shift in, how money flows very soon. Maybe you're not going to get in trouble for not agreeing with a certain agenda that was pushed, for the last 4, 8, 20, 40 years. This is just Florida, man. I just kept this in here because I wanted to put a little bit of brevity, a little humor in this. So, Florida just saw 10 inches of snow in some parts, and people lost their minds. A lot of it, they just shut things down and they had a fun time in the snow. But somebody, this is your tax money. Your tax money at work here. Boy, they said go salt the roads. And so you've got these two dudes on the back of this pickup truck with cups from Wawa or Circle K or 7-Eleven or whoever, and this is their idea of salting the roads. But let me tell you something. If you wanted me to fight Florida man, or if you wanted me to fight a guy from New York, I'm probably going to take the guy from New York, because Florida man, he will come out there with a strap off of his overall with some sort of flag that he tied around his neck, probably too tight. He's roided out, and he doesn't care. He's got rabies. So I'm going to watch out for Florida, man. Let's see what we've got here.
And it's also reported today in the papers that Saudi Arabia will be investing at least $600 billion in America. But I'll be asking the Crown Prince, who's a fantastic guy, to round it out to around $1 trillion. I think they'll do that because we've been very good to
money
them.
Into the U.S. economy. Let's see. Mexico erecting a tent city on the U.S. border in preparation for mass deportations. Look at these tents being set up. Isn't this nice? So, it used to just be all open, bring all the terrorists in from Syria and from everywhere that we're, taking out their family members that we make terrorists. Bring them in. Iran, Russia, North Korea, wherever. You hate America? Come on in. The borders are open. You don't need any identification. Sure, bring in your drones, your money, your explosive weapons, whatever it is. You just bring it on in. We're free to you. Now it's a change. So they say the group that had been brought from Oregon, everyone carried their belongings in small orange bags. Neither would account on what happened. Beyond the tents, the Mexican government is building 9 shelters to receive the deportees. The Pentagon will deploy as many as 1,500 active troops at this direct location. The forces are expected to be used to support Border Patrol agents. Now, I've been watching some of the video of our troops setting up camp in those areas and really getting ready. And let me tell you, we are going to war. Now, if you don't think we're going to war in the sense of, one country against another, we're going to war in the sense of taking a shift. America is trying to take itself back, because I've told you for the last 5-10 years that break away. Not Elvish, Brad, your display isn't mirrored so we can read it. Yeah, I know everything's inverted. That's on purpose, because the video especially, they'll get tagged for copyright. So I know it's inverted, but we've just got to deal with it. You have to take my reading and hope if you're dyslexic like me, then you can just switch it up in your head and keep on going. I've said for about 5 or 10 years that if we don't start showing strength in this country, there's not going to be a country left. Because no matter how progressive I want to be, no matter how much, I don't want the same trials for my children that I had, no matter who you're at or what's going on, we have to realize that this entire world is built on who's the strongest and who can hold on to what they have. And so what countries get taken over, and, what people get, go to war. War. That's all it's going to be. And who wins those wars? So, we do have to watch out for all of that. Let's see. DEI stuff, lead the CIA, people being just dropped out there. 4chan. Now, I've seen this video. I don't know if you watched these egg-shaped UFOs or pods that were getting picked up. I don't know what's going on there. Maybe it's something, maybe it's not, but I do know that we have to kind of pay attention to the distractions that they want to give us. Corporate layoffs for Starbucks, Catholic churches. Some of this, my feed is so here's a guy who said F Trump. And what happened to him? He got picked up by ICE. He had 17 felony arrests, apparently, according to these reports. Lots of wildfire. Oof, that's rough, bro. There ain't nothing worse than that slide. It makes my hips tingle right there. So lots of federal workers angry. Here's that the video footage of that sabotage. U.S. reported progress in the ERAM program, developing low-cost, high-precision munitions for Ukraine. According to the War Zone, the Stand and Strike Unit of the U.S. Air Force Life Cycle Management Center announced the plan. Let's see what we've got here. That is serious. According to these published contracts, ERAM should be ready by 2026. They're going to start using this beforehand. Let's not be silly. I mean, they are preparing for war right now. That's Donnie's boy down there, right? I don't know about, this is like a celebrity's kid, and that's really what it comes down to. A lot of celebrities' kids, they do not end up well. They just get too much focus, too much attention. They're not allowed to just be people. When you're older and you get into fame or whatever, well, you can make your own decisions. You've seen the goods and the bads of people in the world. So, but Donnie's boy there's a lot of attention on him right now. Well, I guess we'll just have to keep watching what's up.
Someone who has strong engineering ability than so-called management ability. We do hire some MBAs. It's usually in spite of the MBA, not because.
I don't know about you, but I think whatever flavored genome Elon Musk has got, and whether you call it an Asperger or just a little he's touched or whatever it is, I think it's a superpower. And we already saw in yesterday's video that the CIA only wants to hire people with sociopathic tendencies. So I think it makes sense that, other things are superpowers for the people who maybe don't want to be sociopaths. Declassifying assassinations. A little bit of Jones work there. Bank of America, dozens of people losing their bank accounts for association with Trump. Let's see what this says. We'll see. We just have to watch. So thank you guys. So let's take a couple of questions or comments here from you guys. I kind of want to hear what you have to say about what's going on. What about in your area? Anything crazy going on in your area? The audacity of the guy from Haiti to be angry when he had the opportunities. You know, you never know what you got until it's threatened or gone, right? That's kind of how I see a lot of people, you know, get through the things that really they should be thankful for. You don't realize what you've got until it's gone. And I know some people that are in that way right now. Brad, you code in C? No, just Python is the only thing I code in. Now there's some crossover. You know, I can import some modules. I know a little bit of C, but Python is my go-to just because it's human readable. And, you know, I enjoy that a little bit. It's what I wanted to learn. We're about to see some horrible times. You're not wrong there, Nemesis. We are, especially just dangerous times. Maybe not horrible. Hopefully not horrible for everyone, but dangerous times? Absolutely. Did you see the picture today that I guess they had at the Davos meetup? They were giving everyone candy bars, but instead of just candy bars, what were they? They were protein bug bars. Guys, let me tell you something. These Richie Riches, they are not eating protein bugged bars at home. They're eating Wagyu beef. They're eating all of these other things or the best organic. No bit of poison has ever been spread on these. Actually, the people are probably washing their hands before they pick them for them. They don't have to wash them off in baking soda to get the wax and the pesticide off. So to tell you that it's good for you to do these things, you got to watch, because you got to think, what are they actually doing? We are Tren de Aragua hitting jewelry stores in malls, Connecticut. Not just Connecticut, it's definitely happening everywhere. Declassify Epstein and Diddy. You know, that's too fresh, right? They're okay getting out of this old stuff like RFK, JFK, you know, they're okay with all that. But Diddy, they don't want that news coming out. Python and Pie, yeah, absolutely. Genius in a bottle, love the channel. Thanks, City Man. President Trump will be in our mountains in North Carolina. Sweet. You know, it's always interesting to see what happens there, but you have to be careful, right? Because who knows what people who don't want certain things to happen will be willing to do. You just got to watch out for them. We've got crazy people out there. Yeah, the bug bars. Favorite Lethal Weapon movie. Yeah, I love that. You know, that guy with the diplomatic immunity, you know, he got what he had coming to him. Robbing stores, New York City, stealing ATMs. Yeah, so guys, I guess not too many questions coming in tonight. Definitely a lot going on out there. If you liked this style of live where we can communicate together live at the time, watch some of these things, you know, see what's happening in that period, please share this video with friends and family. Definitely thumbs up the video. Definitely leave a comment. Any comment you leave is good for YouTube. They see it as positive engagement. Put Diddy in federal prison without the possibility. You know, these guys will never feel the pang of what they did. Never, ever. Because they've got enough money to keep it in court. You know, it's only when they start to lose their influence, like Epstein did. When they start to lose their influence, but they have too much dirt, then they're in trouble. And so you got to watch out for all of that. I've been getting your cards for a couple of years now. You've changed your whole thing where you can get cards and extra videos. How do I cancel the original and go to the new one? So if you're a Patreon member, you can keep doing that. And the members on YouTube ask to just make these videos live. But we do a couple of behind-the-scenes ones just for them. But if you're a current Patreon member and you want to just be a YouTube member at the $15 level, then you can just can't go to Patreon, cancel that, and come over and hit the join button down at the subscribe button down here on YouTube. Full spectrum survival. Is there anywhere safe in the USA? Yes, as you make it safe. That's where it's safest, is where you make it safe in the USA. So that's what you and I have to focus on. Thank you, Nemesis. Really appreciate it. Hey, Brian, glad you made it here. Breakaway Homesteader. Patrick, I mean, I hope you're doing good, man. We need to talk more. I think the last thing I got from you, let me see. So me and Breakaway, we give some text back and forth, and we kind of see what's going on in our families and talk about what's going on there. I don't think he'll mind me showing this one bit that we've been talking about. So this is getting ready for some gardening. So guys, if you know what time it is, then you know it's time right now to think about food. There's only a couple places that they can control us, right? Your food, your fuel, where else? your free time. So don't let them get you with any of those things, your food, your fuel, or your free time. And then, of course, if you're eating good and you're spending good free time, you're less likely to have a need for their pharmaceuticals. So you don't need that as much. We got to use our brains, and we got to really do what we can. Question, where would you bug out in Northeast Florida? I mean, Northeast Florida is pretty good. You've got some pretty rural areas there. You've got some good forested areas. Thanks, John. I appreciate that. It's always good to hear that the community likes what we're doing here. Buy your seeds. That's right. Buy your seeds now. Get heirloom seeds, because I've been able to grow some things from non-heirloom, fruits and vegetables. Not great. You're not going to have heirlooms the way to go. Now, that's why it's expensive. I hate that everything is, but you do pay what you get. You get what you pay for, right? So get your seeds, get heirloom if you can. Even if it's just a couple of things, but make sure you keep it separate. You've got to have a tackle box or something to make sure that you have a row of just your heirlooms and then all the other stuff out there that you're not going to try and propagate again. But spend your money wisely and well and get that. You stock up on food, flour, and water. See what Trump will do for the food prices. Unfortunately, Sky Viking, we see everybody saying that prices are going to keep going up. That's not great. Because I don't know anybody who doesn't care about the food price right now. Nobody that I know. And now I'm not talking to the guys like that Jagger from JP Morgan who said inflation's good if it's good for national security. I'm not talking to people like him. I'm talking to us, we the people. And I don't know any we the peoples who don't care about the food prices. So everything I'm seeing says we're going to go up and up again this year. Stocking up on seeds, good. Coffee, definitely coffee. I've got my coffee right here next to me. Make sure you have a way to brew it. Make sure you have something you can use when the power goes down. Is it on your gas grill? Whatever it is. Something you can cozy up next to the fire. Just make sure that you're used to it now, because there's nothing worse than having to change things up while you're watching the events of the world unfold. Yeah, they jacked everything up, man. It's crazy. Thank you so much, Frogmaster. Thanks, Paul Taylor. Rob. Yeah, seedy. Camping supplies. Yep, got to get your camping supplies. Well, guys, we're going to wrap it up here. Thank you guys so much for being here with us. I'm going to keep doing these. I think it's good to have this community involvement. So thank you for what you do. And try not to get overwhelmed with it. Make sure you do we have a magic formula here. Do your chores. So that's everything that you got to do. You got to brush your teeth. You got to get the bills paid. So you do your chores. You do your prep work. So your prep work is buying that food, getting a little extra coffee, making it to the range, learning a new hunting spot, whatever that is. Number 3, just as important as those other 2, have fun. You got to have fun. Your whole body changes when you have fun. So whether you like to watch stuff, that's funny to you, play games with your kids. My oldest son, I play Black Ops, Call of Duty with my kids. And maybe I'll put a law on here. I don't want to toot my own horn, but for an old dude, I'm pretty good. And so my oldest son's got me into Marvel Rivals now, which is another shooter game. And so I'm just learning that. So have fun, guys. Have fun with your kids. Have fun with your wife or husband. Just have fun. Do something out there that's going to give you some fun. Hey, Brad, are you a silver or gold person? Guys, I'm silver. I'm copper. I'm brass and lead, and then silver. And in fact, I got some silver right over there. I'd grab it if I had those arms that I could just reach over there and get it with, but I don't. Yeah, play with your dog. Joke around a fire, whatever it is. Hey, Daryl, appreciate it. So guys, yeah, just do what you can to have some fun. Do your chores, do your preps, and then have fun. Much love from my family to yours, and check back tomorrow for more information from what's going on